What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to be talking about when you should be watching for some volatility. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. So, our friends, in just about 3 weeks from now. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So right now, SPY is looking very bullish. It's making higher highs and higher lows. And the market's continuing to push during the pre-market as there's a lot of buyers defending. Now, this move could continue because there's a lot of momentum that remains, but there is one issue, and that's the fact that we do have some data coming out. So we'll have to see what kind of reaction we get with that in order for the move to continue. So, with that being said, just know that today is Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Know at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the S&P Global Composite and Services PMI reports. This could lead to some more volatility, so watch for that very closely. Then at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the ISM Services business activity, employment, new orders, and prices all coming out. Now, this is going to lead to some high volatility 15 and 30 minutes after market open. So watch for that very, very closely, especially at 10 o'clock a.m. There's going to likely be a big reaction to this data. If the data causes a rug pull, the market could turn, and we're going to be watching to see if our key supports end up breaking. If not, we could continue to push for new all-time highs. Now, right now, there's momentum that's building. The market's breaking all-time highs. Once again, looking very, very strong. And then on top of this, I didn't see anything else that's too crazy on the news. We did see Salesforce announce earnings, and they did really, really well, absolutely crushing it. They're up 13%. They ended up beating on revenue expectations, but their EPS was a bit of a miss. Despite that, they talked about AI, and then the share price continued to soar. So great job by them. Now I just want to focus on the charts and make this video a little bit more blunt. So what's happening with the rest of these tickers? What is my opinion, at least moving forward? So from the way I see things, I think that we're in a very, very nice uptrend right here on SPY. If we turn bearish when the data comes out, you're looking for 604 is the main support now. If 604 fails us, we're looking for 602.5 or below, followed by 600. So watch those three supports. As long as we're above that, though, this does have more potential. Right now, we have resistance at 606. If that breaks, we're looking for 607.5. And then eventually, if that breaks, we get very close to about 610. Those are going to be your levels to watch for. As of right now, I think that this could still pop a bit upon open and kind of consolidate up here near 607. And then we're going to be looking for a big reaction once all this data comes out, especially at 10 a.m. If this pumps the market higher, we're looking for a break of new all-time highs. And if we get a rug pull, we're looking for a dip back down below 604. In my opinion, I think that the chart looks very strong. We're favoring upside, and 607.5 could be a nice target for SPY. I think there's a very good chance we continue this push, but whether or not that happens depends on the data, of course, so we'll have to see about that. There's a lot of momentum remaining, so the bias is in favor of upside and the market breaking new all-time highs again. But we will see what happens once this data comes out, so wait very, very patiently, and we'll see how things end up going. For ES, we look more bullish. As long as we're above 6,080, we favor 6,100. If 6,080 fails us, we're looking for 6,057 as our targets. If the data causes a rug pull, we want to see this thing lose 6,057. If that fails us, we're looking for 6,030. If not, if the market continues to push after the data comes out, after all this data is released, we're looking for essentially 6,100 as our target. Right now, ES is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and we're continuing to break out. So 6,100 becomes a potential target as we remain more bullish. For Nvda, we look more bullish with a nice inverse head and shoulders. As long as we don't end up losing 139.37, we favor upside. The inverse head and shoulders could lead to more upside, especially as we approach this resistance. So I think that as long as we're above 142, I'm looking for 143.5 as my target on Nvidia, then 146 above that. As long as we don't lose 140, I think Nvidia looks very bullish, and so far it's doing a good job at pushing. There is this pre-market gap, so in case there is a dip, if 142 fails, let's look for 143 retest, which is where that gap is. But nonetheless, the chart is bullish. Whether we get a small dip and then a bounce, or if we just push from here, Nvidia remains very, very bullish right now. Bitcoin is very flat right now, trading sideways. We pushed to my target from yesterday to 97,000, then we rejected again. We're still range bound. So it could retest around 95,000, but we should be looking for a bounce around it because I think Bitcoin's still holding up very well. But look for a range between 97 and 95,000. Might just trade sideways for the time being. For Tesla, It's bullish. It could be attempting to push for the higher 350s, closer to 360. But look at this cup and handle. We need to break 360 to really start breaking out for 370 plus. If we end up losing 350, we could be dipping back down. So look at the main support at 350, 348, and then that gap fill around 345. If we end up breaking down, and as long as we're above 350, we do favor upside, and Tesla could attempt to push. Tesla loves to push upon open, so there's a good chance we push closer to the higher 350s, if not at 360. Then we'll see if we break that or not to see the cup and handle pan out. So give it some time to develop. For NQ, we look more bullish. We're breaking out right now. If we have the main support now at the previous all-time high at 21,350. If we're bearish and we lose that, we turn back down to 21,200. As long as we're above 21,350, we're favoring 21,500 plus as our target. We look bullish right now, but we'll have to see what happens with the data release at 10 a.m. Will it cause a rug pull or not? As of right now, the market looks bullish. QQQ looks bullish. We have 520 is our main support, and also at 516, that's critical support. We need to lose 516 to turn back down. Otherwise, this favors upside. Now, that could be dependent on the data, but for now, we do look bullish, and we're looking like we could be pushing for 522.5 and eventually closer to 525. We'll see what happens to the data release at 10 a.m., but give this the time it needs. For other factors out there, we have Apple. Apple's on a very, very strong uptrend. As long as we don't lose 242.5, we're favoring 244 than 245. This is looking very strong right now as we are uptrending, so give this more time to develop. I think there's a good chance that Apple pushes higher. For other factors out there, let me just double check this. Netflix is at resistance near 906 right now. We'll have to see how it reacts to that because the last time it hit this high, it did chop around. We did talk about that. But as long as we're above 891 and 900, we could continue to break out. There's potential in this, but just know we're at its shop zone for now. We need to break that to remain more bullish. The IWM Russell 2000, we need to try to hold above 240 to push for 242. Overall, there's potential in this, but give it some more time. We need to try to hold above 240.5 on a 4-hour basis to push even more. For coin, we are range bound. We're looking for essentially 315 as our target, and then we're just stuck in this range for the time being. We'll have to see what kind of reaction we get from that, but it's still doing a good job at that resistance. If it rejects, we're looking for a move back down closer to 300, but it still is doing a good job. Amazon's trying to break these highs right here. As long as we do not lose 215 and 212.5, we look bullish. As long as 215 holds, we could be looking for 218 as our next target. Overall, Amazon is doing a good job, and it looks more bullish. Meta is doing a good job at holding up. It might dip a little bit, might retest like the breakout area near 609 to 610 might dip a little bit before it tries to bounce again. But if we lose this breakout area at 608, this could be dipping back down to about 604. So look for a dip to about 609 to 610, that area. We could bounce off of that and start pushing right now to hit 615 all over again. But whether or not that happens depends on our data, so wait for that. Microsoft looks more bullish. We're doing a good job at holding up as we're seeing buyers defending. I think that this has the potential to push even higher, so just keep that in mind. We have 436 as a potential target, if not 440 if that breaks. And then for Google to me looks more bullish. As long as we don't lose 172, we're favoring a push to slowly creep our way up for 170, 176 essentially. So we'll have to see if we break past 175. Looks bullish to me, but then we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's it for my video, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, have a good day and peace out.